Hi, I'm Luke.
Hi, I'm Roxanne.
Hi, I'm Mackenzie.
Hi, I'm Jay.
Sometimes in life you have less than a second to react to something that has caught your attention. Fast reaction times, adrenaline rushes, and surprises are all things you encounter when it comes to fishing. No matter what season of the year or what time of the day it is, anyone can grab a pole and hit the lake. However, before anyone can become a strong fisherman, they must learn the basics of fishing. These include baiting, casting, and reeling. Baiting a hook may sound and seem simple, but sometimes it can be more than expected. The first bait we're going to look at is the worm. The worm is good because you only need about half of the size of the whole worm and you can wrap it around the hook. Once it is wrapped around the hook, you want to make sure that it is secure on the hook and everything is good to go. Also, some people tend to cut the worm into smaller pieces and place it on that way. It is just the fisherman's choice of how they want to have the worm on the hook. Next, the worm is also good for beginners because almost all fish bite on worm. No matter what type of worm it is, almost all the time you'll get a bite. And also, there's no wrong way to bait the worm, as I stated earlier. You can cut it into pieces, you can wrap it around the hook as a whole, or just cut it straight in half. The next bait we're going to look at is the plastic frogs. This gets a little more complicated because you need a swivel for this. And a swivel, it goes on the end of your hook. It's really small and it's just a open and closing little tab that you hook the worm onto, or the frog, excuse me. The placement is because if you do it incorrectly, it will not be efficient. You want to make sure that the head of the frog is closest to the end of your line or the swivel itself. If you do it incorrectly, that frog can actually go upside down. It will sink, and it won't be effective, and you won't get any bites. Finally, there's two others that we're going to look at today. It's corn and it's crankbait. Now, corn is like the worm. There's no wrong way to bait it, and you can put it on any way you'd like. You can add a little couple pieces, or you can fill the whole hook up with them. And as for crankbait, this comes in different sizes, colors, and kinds, so it's up to the fisher's preference which one they want to use, depending on the weather, the type of day it is, and the type of fish you're going after. After baiting your line, it is important to know how to properly cast that line. There's two types of castings we're going to look at. There's the button cast rod and the open face rod. We're going to start off with the button cast rod. With this one, you have this button right here. You want to hold it down and bring the rod all the way back. Once you have it all the way back, you want to fling it forward as fast as possible. While you fling it forward, you want to release the button so that the string can go. As soon as your bait hits the water and it's done casting, you want to reel a couple times to ensure that that slack goes away. And then this will allow you to start your fishing experience. The next rod we're going to look at is the open face rod. Now this one is almost similar to the button rod, it's just a little more complicated. So instead of a button, we have this little bar here. First step, you're gonna pull that back, like that. And instead of hitting that button, you're gonna hold onto the string. It's gonna be the exact same process. You're gonna bring it back, and then you're gonna fling it forward just like the button rod. But this time you're gonna let go of the string itself. As soon as your bait hits the water, you're gonna wanna fling this bar that we saw earlier back up, and you're going to start reeling just to ensure that that slack is gone, and you cannot reel in until that bar is back to normal spot. So those are the two main rods that people use when they go fishing. Once the line is in the water, the most important part of fishing is getting that fish reeled in. The first step is when you feel that initial tug on your pole. First thing you want to do is you want to jerk the rod up just to ensure that that fish is on your line and securely on your hook. At this point, you'll know how good they're on. If you want to let them run for a minute, or if you know you're good, you can start reeling. The next step you want to do is you want to keep your rod at a 45-degree angle. What this does is this doesn't hold it too high, so it's not a weird placement in the fish's mouth for the hook to come loose out of it. Next, we're going to talk about a couple techniques that you want to do once you have the fish hooked onto your pole. You want to aim the pole towards the fish whichever way he's running. So if you're standing and then the fish starts running left, you want to aim your pole left. If it starts going right, you want to aim your pole right. However, you as the person don't want to move back or around. So if the fish is moving all over, you don't want to reel and move back, or you don't want to reel and keep moving back and forth. You just want to stay stable, and you want to point the rod itself. And finally, depending on the situation, almost all times continually reel in. There are certain times when that you let the fish take it before you reel it in. However, most of the time you just want to continually reel at a nice steady pace, try to get them in as fast as possible. Knowing these basics on fishing will make you better than ever expected. Whether it's mastering how to bait the hook properly, how to cast the rod itself, or reeling in that big fish on the end of the line, you'll be ready to fish anywhere. Remember, it's not always about catching the fish, it's always about that adrenaline rush that we all need at sometimes.
Do you want me to